Hello everyone, my name is Pooja and I welcome you all to my YouTube channel. On this channel, I will be uploading the videos related to 10th ICSE Biology. So today, I am going to start with the first chapter of 10th ICSE Biology, that is cell cycle and cell division. In this chapter, one more part is there, that is structure of chromosomes. This entire chapter I have divided in 3 parts. The first part will be cell cycle, which we are going to discuss today. The second part will be of cell division, and the third part will be the structure of chromosomes, which you will get to see in the coming videos. And at the end of each videos, you will get few MCQs also, so that you can assess yourself how much you understood. So let's start. Cell cycle and cell division. First of all, what are the subtopics which we are going to cover today? Need of cell division. The second is cell cycle, a brief introduction. And the third is phases of cell cycle. What are the different phases of cell cycle? Now what is a cell? We know, children, from grade 6th only we are studying that cell is the structural and functional unit of life. In each and every living organisms, cell will be there. In some organisms, only one cell is there, and in other organisms, more than one cells will be there, right? Based on this only, we know that there are 2 categories of organisms. First is unicellular organisms. Uni means one. So the organisms which have only one cell, those organisms are known as unicellular organisms. And in the organisms where many cells are present, more than one cell is there, those organisms are known as multicellular organisms, right? Now, in multicellular organisms, many cells will be there, and those cells will perform different functions. So, how these many cells are formed? These many cells will be formed from one single cell. How? By the process of cell division. We know that a cell, growth and reproduction is the characteristics of the cell. Now this is a cell, right? When it is ready to divide, it will divide into 2 daughter cells. This one parent cell which is dividing, it is known as parent cell, and it will divide to give rise to 2 daughter cells. Correct? This is cell division. Now, why there is a need of cell division? Why cells need to divide? See, first is for growth, for general growth of the body. We all started our life as a single cell. Now, that single cell kept on dividing and it formed many cells. Then, from many cells, tissues will be formed. Then organs will be formed, organ system will be formed. So, in this way, there will be growth in the body. This will lead to growth of the body. So, for general growth, cell division is needed. How? As I told you, this one parent cell, it will divide into daughter cells. Now, these daughter cells, when it will mature, right, when a time will come, it has everything, it will have everything which is needed for division. Then again these daughter cells will divide. So this one daughter cell, it will become parent cell. Now again it will give rise to 2 daughter cells. Again this daughter cell, which was before it was daughter cells, but when it will get mature, it will become parent cell. Now this parent cell, it will give rise to 2 daughter cells. So, we can easily see from one parent cell, from one cell many cells will be formed. This is the process of cell division, and this leads to general growth of the body. The second is for replacement. Replacement of what? Take one example. Take example of household items only, like cups, plates, bed sheets. We are using these things daily. In our day-to-day life, we are using these things. a time will come when these things will get damaged, right? So what we do? We buy new things then to replace those older ones. Like that only in our body also, because of normal body functions, the cells will get damaged. Now, to replace those damaged cells, new cells have to be formed. Now, how these new cells will be formed? By the process of cell division. The third is for repair. Repair of what? Suppose we got injured somewhere. Now, in that place of injury, healing will be done after some time, after some days, right? How this healing will be done? In that place of injury, new cells will come. New cells will come and fill that gap. How these new cells will be formed? By the process of cell division. And the last is reproduction. As I told you, this one parent cell will give rise to two daughter cells. In unicellular organism, if you will see, like the organisms which have only one cell, so that one parent cell, it will give rise to two daughter cells, and these two daughter cells will be new individual. So in unicellular organisms, we can consider the growth and reproduction as same. So for reproduction also, this cell division is needed. We can learn it like GR3. What is the need of cell division? GR3. G for growth, and there will be three R terms: replacement, repair and reproduction. So this was about the need of cell division. Coming to cell cycle. Before also we have studied about many cycles like carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle, water cycle. So whenever this cycle term comes in our mind, one image will be formed in our mind. What? Something which is originating from one point, various changes, various events will take place, and again it will return back to the same original point. Right? This is the actual graphical representation of a cycle whenever the cycle terms comes. So this image will be formed in our mind. Same happens with cell cycle also. Here if you will see, this is one parent cell. Okay? It will undergo many changes. Why? Because it has to divide. After doing all the changes, right, after crossing all the events, a time will come when it will give rise to daughter cells. Now these daughter cells will start growing. Now these daughter cells will also cross all the events, and finally it will become mature to give rise to daughter cells. So in this way a cycle will be formed. This is known as cell cycle. Right? This we will understand in more clear way when we will study about interphase and M phase. That is the two phases of cell cycle. Correct? So in cell cycle we have to study about all the events, all those processes which will take place so that a parent cell will divide into the two daughter cells. Right? So what actually happens? Right? So all those events we have to study in the cell cycle. Cell cycle has two phases. The first is interphase and the second one is M phase or mitotic phase. M is for mitotic here. So the two phases of cell cycle are interphase and M phase or mitotic phase. The actual division, a cell will divide actually in this phase, M phase or mitotic phase. So division of a cell will take place in which phase? M phase or mitotic phase. Then what happens in interphase? In interphase, the critical things will take place. For division, there are certain preparations, right? A cell, before dividing, it needs to prepare itself. It needs to synthesize. It needs to form several things. right? It needs to synthesize many things so that it can divide to give rise to the daughter cells. So that preparatory phase, all the preparations which will be needed for the division of a cell, those preparations will be done in interphase. So we can say this interphase as preparatory phase also, right? Interphase, sometimes we refer it as resting phase also, but actually it's not resting. A cell in this phase is not resting because all those important preparations which is required for the division of a cell will take place in interphase. Then resting phase we are saying because the division is not taking place in this phase, right? So in interphase, all the preparations which are needed for the division, those preparations will be done and the division will take place in M phase. Take example of a dish also. Suppose I want to cook something. For that recipe I have seen. Now according to that recipe, all the ingredients I will collect at one place. Suppose onion, garlic, tomato, all those things I will collect, I will keep at one place. Then one by one I will chop all those things. So this preparation I am doing, I am not cooking actually now. The preparation I am doing, once the preparation will be done, after that I will cook the food. So that all preparations, the preparatory phase will be the interphase. A cell before dividing, it will prepare itself for in the interphase. Okay, now in M phase the actual division will take place. So we know that all the preparations will be done in interphase. Now the preparations will also carry out in different stages of interphase, right? So there are again different stages of interphase. See here. Interphase is basically preparatory phase. Interphase is divided into three phases. The first is G1 phase. G is for growth, right? G is for growth. Growth 1 phase. The second phase of interphase is S phase. S is for synthesis. That means formation. S is for synthesis. And the last phase of interphase is G2 phase. That is growth 2 phase. Okay, so these three are the phases of interphase. G1, growth 1 phase, S phase, that is synthesis phase, and growth 2, G2 phase. In all these phases, preparations will be done. Different preparations will be done, which we are going to discuss now. Now, in this diagram also, if you will see here, this interphase, the cell will start preparing itself for the division. So that preparatory phase is interphase. Now this interphase is divided into G1 phase, then after G1 S phase, and after S G2 phase, right? In G1, in growth 1 phase, what will happen? Growth in a cell will take place, right? What actually happens in G1 phase? Protein will be synthesized, right? Protein in a cell will be synthesized. RNA will be synthesized. RNA, the full form of RNA is ribonucleic acid. This is a molecule which is present in all the living cells and it is required for cellular activity. For any gene activity, this RNA is required. So, protein and RNA will be synthesized in G1 phase, right? And why it is doing all those things? Because a cell has to divide. A cell has to distribute all the important constituents which is present in a parent cell. Those important constituents need to be distributed in the daughter cells properly. That's why all these preparations will be done. So protein and RNA will be synthesized in G1 phase. Now here, all the cells which are present in the G1 phase, right, they have two options in front of them. Either they will go from G1 phase to S phase, that means they will continue the preparation, or they will withdraw from the cell cycle, right? They will come back. Why? See, there are certain cells which will not divide once they get mature. In the embryonic stage, division will take place, but once they get matured, they are not going to divide. And if they will not divide, why they will do further preparation, right? If suppose the cells here, they are not in the mood to divide, then why they will do all these preparations? So what will happen? They will not continue this preparatory phase. What it will do, the cells which is not dividing, the cells which are not going to divide, those cells will enter into one different stage, that is G0 phase, right? G0 phase or resting phase, right? Like nerve cells, heart cells. So these cells will be in the G0 phase, right? So what are the characteristics of the cells which are present in G0 phase? These cells will not divide, but they will be metabolically active. What is the meaning of metabolically active? See, all the functions, all those processes which are required for the survival of a cell, all those processes will take place even in those cells also. It's not like that the cells which are present in G0 phase are dead. No, they will be metabolically active. Only the thing is they are not going to divide. So they will not continue this preparatory phase. Got it? But the cells which are in the mood to divide, right, which have made up their mind, no, I have to divide. So those cells have to prepare further, right? So they will continue this cycle. From G1 phase, they will enter into S phase, right? In S phase, that is synthesis phase, what will happen? DNA will be synthesized. In S phase or synthesis phase, DNA will be synthesized. Again, this DNA is a molecule, right? Deoxyribonucleic acid. It will be present in chromosome, which will be present in the nucleus. All these things, structure of DNA, chromosome, gene, we will study in this chapter only, in the third part of this chapter. In coming videos, you will get to know all those things. So DNA synthesis will take place in S phase. S means synthesis. Synthesis of what? DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. And DNA, the amount of DNA will be doubled. Getting my point? Suppose 2N. Suppose in G1 phase or before S phase, the amount of DNA in a cell is 2N, right? Now in the S phase, I am telling you that DNA content will be doubled. So the cell which has crossed this phase, that means the cell after S phase, how much amount will be there in that cell? The amount will be 4N. The amount will be 4N. Simply it will get doubled. Suppose before S phase. Before S phase, the amount of DNA is 4N. The amount of DNA in a cell before S phase is 4N. In the S phase, synthesis of DNA will take place. The amount of DNA will be doubled. So after S phase, how much amount of DNA in a cell? It will be 8N. Got it? So amount of DNA will be doubled in this S phase. But the important thing which you all should know here is the amount of DNA will be doubled, but the number of chromosome will be same. We know that in each chromosome a molecule of DNA is present. You will get to know in coming videos when we will study the structure of chromosomes and the structure of DNA. So in each chromosome, a molecule of DNA will be there. So it should come in your mind that if the amount of DNA is doubling, that means the chromosome number will also get doubled? No. The DNA content will double, but the number of chromosomes will remain same. How this happens? See, when a cell is doubling its DNA content, what actually happens? A cell, when it is doubling its DNA content, DNA structure, roughly I am telling you. In DNA, in one molecule of DNA, 2 strands will be there and it will be like double helix model. 2-stranded, double-stranded molecule it will be, right? DNA. Right? So these are the 2 strands of single molecule of DNA. Now when DNA is doubling its content, when DNA replication will take place, what happens actually from each strand? These are the 2 strands, one black and one red. From each strand, one new molecule of DNA will be formed. Now, again from this, that is second strand, again from this, one new molecule of DNA will be formed. So, from each strand of DNA molecule, one new molecule of DNA is getting formed. So, here we can understand that the amount of DNA will be doubled. But how chromosome number will remain same? When a cell is doubling its DNA content, right? A chromosome, see here. This is one chromosome. So when DNA is doubling its content, this one single chromosome, it will replicate into 2 chromatids. And these 2 chromatids are known as sister chromatid. These 2 chromatids are known as sister chromatids. And these 2 sister chromatids are not separate. They will be joined at one place. Right? So this is one chromosome, single chromosome. It will just split. It will replicate into 2 chromatids, 2 sister chromatids which will be attached at one common point. So these are not considered as separate chromosomes. They will be considered as same single chromosome. So chromosome number is not getting doubled, right? The chromosome number will be same when a cell is doubling its DNA content. And how DNA content will be doubled? That also I told you. So in S phase, synthesis of DNA will take place. The amount of DNA will be doubled, but chromosome number will be same. Coming to G2 phase. Now in S phase, almost everything is done. But further, whatever leftover things, because after G2 phase, a cell will enter in M phase, that is mitosis phase, that is division phase. So before division, now a cell should check everything, whether everything is ready or not. A final check, okay? And whatever will be required, the protein, the RNA, it will be synthesized in G2 phase. Whatever will be required at last, so that a cell will be finally ready for division. Now all those preparations will be done in G2 phase. So again in G2 phase, more protein will be synthesized, more RNA will be synthesized. Got it? So these 3 are the phases of interphase. At different stages, different preparations are going to take place. right? G1 phase, that is growth 1 phase, protein and RNA will be synthesized. S phase, that is DNA will be synthesized. G2 phase, again more protein and more RNA will be synthesized. Now, after G2 phase, preparatory phase is over. So, after G2 phase, the cell is going to enter in which phase? M phase. Now, a cell is fully ready to divide. Now, it is sufficient. It has required, it has, collected all those things. It has synthesized all those things which is required for division. So, now it will enter in the division phase, that is M phase or mitotic phase. Got it? Now, this M phase, that is mitosis phase, division will take place. Again, that division will take place in different stages. Prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, and then cytokinesis. Cyto means cytoplasm. So, there will be the division of cytoplasm leading to the formation of two daughter cells. Again, in detail, we have to study in, I will tell you everything about cell division, the phases of division in the next video. So, this was all about today's video, and we will do a quick recap. Why there is a need of cell division? GR3, growth, replacement, repair and reproduction. Then cell cycle, right? We understood all the events which will take place so that a cell is ready, so that a cell will divide to form two daughter cells. That is cell cycle. Now, there are two phases of cell cycle. The interphase, the phase where all the preparations will be done, and the division phase, that is M phase. Now, interphase is divided into G1 phase, S phase and G2 phase. After G1 phase, in G1 phase, cells have two paths. Okay, they will follow one of the two paths. Either they will go in G0 phase, which cells will go, which are not going to divide, like heart cells and nerve cells. And the cells which have to divide, they will enter in the S phase, that is synthesis phase. So, in synthesis phase, DNA will be synthesized, the amount of DNA will be doubled. Got it? So, this was all about today's content. Hope you understand, and if you have anything to ask, you can just comment down in the comment section. Please like and subscribe my channel. Thank you.